Good morning, warrior. The day ahead is filled with challenges, but remember, not every challenge requires immediate force. Some battles are won not by strength, but by patience, understanding, and creativity. Let me share a story from my youth, a moment when I learned that not all threats need to be met with violence. Sometimes the wiser path lies in understanding the situation first. It was a cold winter's day, many years ago, before I became the warrior I am today. I was still a boy, learning the ways of the world, when a wolf, no doubt starving from the harsh winter, made its way into our village. It was a desperate animal, searching for food, and it did not care that it was in a place meant for humans, not beasts. The wolf stalked our herds, and it terrified the villagers. As soon as the alarm was raised, I took up my bow. There was no question in my mind. I would hunt it down. My heart pounded with the excitement of the chase. But as I ran through the snow, tracking the animal, something strange happened. Instead of rushing in with weapons drawn, I stopped. I watched the wolf from a distance, hiding behind a large rock. I could see the hunger in its eyes, the way its ribs protruded from its sides. It was not attacking out of malice or wildness. It was desperate, driven by hunger. This wasn't a mindless beast looking to destroy. This was a creature trying to survive, just as we all did. It was simply doing what nature demanded of it. As I knelt there in the snow, I realized something. My instincts told me to act quickly, to chase it down, to kill it before it could cause more harm. But that wasn't the only solution. Instead of acting out of fear or anger, I decided to learn more about the situation. The wolf wasn't a villain. It wasn't a monster. It was a part of nature, like us, seeking its place in a world where resources were scarce. I returned to the village, where I spoke with the elders. I explained my observations and proposed a plan. Rather than hunting the wolf down like an enemy, I suggested we draw it away, using bait, and lead it into a safer area where it would no longer threaten the village. We could create a situation where the wolf would be allowed to leave without conflict, without the bloodshed that both it and we would regret. The plan was put into motion the very next day. We laid out food near the outskirts of the village and waited in silence. Hours passed. Finally, the wolf came, its eyes glimmering with cautious hope. It crept forward, sniffing the air, unsure of what it was walking into. We made no move to threaten it, but simply allowed it to take the bait, moving farther and farther from our village. Once the wolf was safely away, we allowed it to continue into the wilderness. It was free to hunt for itself, and we were free to continue our lives without fear. The villagers were shocked. They had expected a hunt, bloodshed, perhaps even more death, but they were wrong. We had chosen a path of wisdom, one that did not lead to needless violence but to a solution that satisfied all parties involved. The wolf was saved. The village was saved. That moment, as I watched the wolf disappear into the distance, changed me. I learned that not every problem needs to be met with confrontation. In many situations, the real enemy is not the challenge itself, but our impulse to respond with aggression or fear. By understanding the wolf's hunger, by seeing the situation for what it truly was, I was able to find a better way. Violence may solve some problems, but it is not always the best or only solution. In fact, it often clouds our judgment, making us miss opportunities for creative, peaceful resolutions. Warrior, as you face the challenges of today, I urge you to remember the wolf. When confronted with a threat, take a moment. Ask yourself, is this a problem that needs to be fought head-on? Or is there a deeper understanding to uncover, a path of resolution that avoids unnecessary conflict? Sometimes the most powerful way to face an enemy is not with weapons, but with a strategy that takes into account their true nature. Understand what drives them, and you will find that many challenges can be resolved without a single blow.